Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at UFO videos, pictures, then we're going to Mars. And then we'll look at a little bit of time travel, all on this edition of Analyzing Today's UFO Clips, episode 26. Recently, I ran into this clip from YouTuber UFO Hunter Joey Franko, and it's of what appears to be a disc captured on video from his front yard. Let's watch the clip first, which I'm going to clip a little bit and reduce in length because it's pretty long, but I'll leave a link to the original video down below. We'll watch it and then we'll discuss.
Definitely. I don't know about tornado weather. Maybe. Oh, there goes one. Whoa, that was fast. There's no way I could have kept up with that. Whether it was an intelligent disc or just something else. Oh, something flew by again. Real fast. Don't know. I don't know what it is. This way. I didn't see nothing until I shined the laser. Whoa, there goes one. Whoa, man. Whoa. That was freaking fast. Let's shine a laser at it. Man, that was fast. Wow. Oh, there was another one. Definitely a disc. Whoa, did you see it stop? I shined a laser at it and it stopped. It completely stopped. Come back. Wow, that is just amazing, dudes. Okay, it's moving again. Come on back here, please. It's coming back. Please come back. It's coming back, man. Animals don't do this. This is no kind of animal here, guys, except an intelligent animal. Whoa, there it goes again. It's on the move. Well, it come back at me again. Man, I hope this thing don't shoot at me or nothing. It's coming right back at me, man. Isn't that amazing? Let's just wave to it and see what it does. I'm waving at it now. I'm waving at it. It's coming right back over the top of me. Okay, now it's on the... Oh. This thing was clipping along. If I wouldn't have shined the laser at it, it would have never came back. I've made contact. I'm waving my arms at it now. With my one arm. It's almost right over the top of me now. I hope it don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. I've made contact with this thing. It's right over my head now. It's right over my head. It must see me. I hope I don't get taken tonight, man. What the hell is it? I'm scared, I'll be honest with you. This is dealing with the unknown. Whoa, you see that? Don't go. Don't come back, please. I wish I could tell you what. Whoa, did you see that? It's gone, man. At 1,000 miles an hour, this thing booked.
So according to Joey, he goes out to his yard armed with a laser because he's been seeing UFOs in the sky around his neck of the woods, and he figured out that he can interact with them if he points a laser at them. So he goes out with his laser and thermal camera and begins filming, and immediately he says that one flies by really quick. Here's a take of that. Then he continues filming and finally captures the disc as it flies overhead. Here it is in slow motion as it comes in. Then shortly after that one, another one comes into the scene, but Joey manages to shine a laser at this one, and it actually stops and hovers for a bit. Then it comes back for a bit, then it flies off again, and repeats this a few times. Now, there's a few things I like about this video. One is his reaction to what he's seeing. He seems genuinely excited and a bit nervous, maybe even scared, by what he's seeing, and honestly, that's probably how I'd react too. Something else I like about this video is the way that the object moves. It has this herky-jerky, almost organic motion, which has been described to be typical among the people who claim to see these UFOs move. The lights in the sky that I've personally seen have zigzagged, and in numerous videos on the internet, I've seen this type of motion over the years, which makes me think that it's quite common. As for the actual video quality, well, it's not that great. It's basically a black blob on the screen that you really can't make out any details from. But you can tell that there is an object there, and Joey claims to be interacting with it, so take that as you'd like. But again, the movement of the thing is amazing. Just look at the way it zips around in the sky, as it can fly kind of slow and then accelerate quickly and impressively. And as a UFO head, I really love the way the object shoots off at the end. Just incredibly quick. I don't know guys, but if this is real, it's pretty awesome. Probably one of the better UFO videos I've seen in a long time. Now there is a bit of a problem with the whole thing. The fact that Joey has a UFO channel and that he's claiming he captured a UFO is generally a conflict of interest. But come on, people who are really into UFOs are usually looking up at the sky and hoping one day they'll see one. I do it all the time. At night when I take my dog out for a walk, I'm usually looking up, hoping to see one of those strange lights again. So who's to say Joey wouldn't be doing the same thing all the time, as his channel suggests, hunting for UFOs. So I mean, you be the judge. What do you guys think? Is this guy telling the truth, or are these just balloons flying in the wind? Please let me know in the comments down below, and let's move on. Next are just a couple of photos that I really liked and I thought I'd share with you guys. These photos appeared on Instagram from user UFO Secrecy, and it's one of two very clear pictures of a triangle craft, just kind of cruising along over a neighborhood in South Carolina. Check out the bright spot in the middle. Have you all seen a conventional aircraft that looks like this? Looks a little bit like a stealth bomber, but you can tell from this picture that there are pretty major differences. So what else could it be? That's right, the TR-3B, which seems to be coming up over and over again lately. Man-made or not, this is an extremely cool aircraft. But even cooler is the fact that someone was able to capture it in a very clear photograph, which kind of makes me frustrated when I hear arguments like these.
So, all I'm asking for is among the 6 billion images and videos uplifted to the internet every day that are high resolution, it'd be nice if a few of them had an alien getting out of their spacecraft. Or you going up to greet the, give me some footage of that, some high-res videos. But you don't have that. What you have is, lately, fuzzy Navy video.
Now, the problem that I have with UFO sighting reports is that, 50 years ago, there were some reports of fuzzy images, saucer-like things. By now, our technologies are much better. Our cameras are much more sensitive. These fuzzy images should have turned into crisp, clear images of things that we are confident about.
So do you guys think this is a US black budget made craft? Maybe the infamous TR-3B? Or do you think this is something more otherworldly? But before you answer that, ask yourself this. If this is an ultra top secret anti-gravity craft made by the US government or some kind of private sector, why would they be so casually flying it over a neighborhood in Greenville, South Carolina, low enough for everybody to see? And in this case, even photograph. It just doesn't make much sense. But please leave your comments down below and let me know what you think. Now let's fly off to the red planet, because rovers have given us very strange pictures of quote-unquote natural rock formations that really look like other things, like for instance in these pictures of what looks like a statue, and in this one of something that looks a lot like a rodent. And yes, I'm very aware of pareidolia, but you have to admit that this really looks a lot like a prairie rat or gopher of sorts. But okay, yeah, it's probably a rock. Anyways, those pictures aren't my favorite of the Mars rover photos. My favorite one that I really want to share my opinion with you is this one. You can find this photo on the official nasa.gov site. I'll post the official link down below. And this photo has always shot my speculation through the roof of what this really could be. Up on this hill we find two structures, a large dome and then a smaller one off to the right. Let's zoom into the large one and take a look at what we can see. We get to see what looks like a perfectly shaped dome structure that looks very much like a man-made building of sorts. Now let's look at the smaller dome and let me know what you see. We also get to see a smaller dome, but this time on top of a small little tower of sorts. Now let me tell you why I really think these look like artificially built structures. let's look at the larger dome. And yes, it is very pixelated, but let's go by what the pixels tell us. The reason I think this structure looks artificial is because of the pixels and where they're placed. Here's one that touches the ground and almost suggests that it looks like an entry of sorts. Then around this entry we get to see other dark pixels that are above the ground, which suggests to me that they look like windows that go around the structure. 3 if we count them. Furthermore, if you look at the top, we get to see 2 more dark pixel areas, which might suggest windows that are functioning as skylights of sorts. Now let's move on to the smaller dome, or what looks to be more like a small tower. What do the pixels tell us? Well, when we zoom in, what I find most striking about this image is that I get to perceive a clear cut between the top half and the bottom half, and the top half looks more like a shiny cap that sits upon a tower. We see the bottom half a lighter gray, and then the top half seems to have grays with much more of a contrast, much like a metallic dome would. So let's have a little bit of fun, and let's let our program automatically add pixels to the image. Now, just so you know, what our program is trying to do is make sense of the original pixels provided and just add more pixels around the original ones, basically to smooth out the image, and let's see what we get to see. When we zoom into our smaller dome, and yes, admittedly, we are using our imagination, we can imagine that there's an opening here and here. But yes, to be clear, we are using our imagination and going by what we see. Now the larger dome. And here we get to see that it's very much a dome-shaped structure. Just like a smaller one, there's just no denying the shape. Now let's add a bit more contrast, and you tell me what you see. Clearly there's something there. Some have even suggested in the past that you can see a road leading up to it, but I'm not going to go there. The structures are enough for me. Also, something to note are these really bright spots that seem to be camera artifacts, so we're going to ignore this cluster off to the side for this analysis. Now, let's come back down to Earth again, UFO heads. What could this be? Because it's impossible that there are alien structures on Mars, right? Right? Well, what about lava domes? Could we be looking at ancient lava domes that formed on the Martian surface a long time ago? Look at these pictures. Sure, it's a possible explanation. Only problem is that lava domes normally form inside of craters where volcanic activity is or was present. And our Martian domes here are on a hill, not a volcano. Now let's look at active lava domes, and they look like this. But when they cool down, they don't stay looking like that. So let's keep exploring. So now let's go to the moon, where we can also find ancient lava domes. And well, I have to tell you that I had a really hard time finding a good photo of lunar lava domes, as most of the pictures I found looked like this, and this, where you can see these little formations, but all from above. The best one I found was this one, from this wonderful website with very high resolution photos of the lunar surface. I'll link it down below. So let's explore the high-res pictures of the lava domes on the moon, and if you notice, they all kind of have these gradual soft edges to them. I looked around a lot, and I invite you to try to find lunar volcanic domes that are perfectly shaped like this one. Impossible? Maybe not, but odd for sure. So what do you all think? What exactly are we looking at in this official photo from NASA? Now you know why these two structures are my absolute favorite of all the Martian rover photos. And I'd love to know more about these structures, but unfortunately we just don't have enough information. So we'll have to move on for today. But make sure you leave me your opinions in the comments down below. Now let's dive into time travel, just for a little bit in case you've run into this story before. I've always been fascinated with the subject of time travel, ever since probably this guy. Extra points if you know who that is. But we're not talking about that guy this time. Today we'll be talking about Javier. I first caught wind of this story on OMAR GOSH TV here on YouTube, and it got my attention. I'll link the whole video down below. Go check out his channel and support. Now before I begin, what you're going to be hearing is some outrageous stuff, but just bear with me because it's really worth the watch. The story goes that someone from Spain named Javier wakes up in 2027 to a completely desolate world. Last time Javier remembers anything, it was 2021. I'll let Omar from OMAR GOSH TV lead us into this story.
Meet Javier, aka único sobreviviente, which means lone survivor. He claims to have woken up in a hospital with no recollection of who he was. When he wakes up, he notices that there's no nurses, no doctors, nobody in the hospital at all. When he goes outside to investigate, there's no cars moving, nobody on the streets, not even a bird flying in the air. Yeah, no animals.
So Javier starts uploading videos on TikTok that are somehow finding their way to the present day, and he actually begins to interact with the people from this timeline. Javier is located in a city named Valencia in Spain, which is actually a pretty big city, but where he really starts hooking you in is when he begins to post videos from around the city, showing completely empty sectors that should really be full of people, just to show you that there's no one around. And I gotta tell you, when I started watching this video, I became really intrigued because again, I'm a really big fan of time travel. Javier roams around the city confused, recording these completely desolate places in Valencia, which again should be extremely populated during the daytime. People on TikTok that are following him begin to ask him to go certain places, and he does. He goes to restaurants, landmarks, he roams the highways, goes to airports, goes to a Mercedes dealership and grabs a car. He goes to famous museums, a soccer stadium, to the beach, the zoo, fire stations, the supermarket. He even asks Alexa for the date.
Es domingo, 21 de marzo de 2027.
And even goes to a police station, all which appear to be completely empty. And honestly, the images are fascinating and spooky all at the same time. He's even asked to go to a public square where he shows the time on the public clock that says 5 p.m. and there's no one around in the streets. He begins to leave clues that somehow people find in this time. And people start to theorize that Javier is actually stuck in an alternate timeline and that he's somehow interacting with us in this timeline. Again, I went down the rabbit hole on this one because it really messes with your mind, you know, with the whole global pandemic thing we're going through. But like you, I told myself, this can't be real. I mean, how? So I did a little digging, and yeah, I was right. Turns out the whole Javier story is part of a marketing campaign for a new TV show in Spain. That's how they were able to gain access to all these different places and stage these scenes. I'll put the link to the debunking video down below. Still though, I thought I'd share. The whole marketing campaign was very, very well done, and time travel has always been one of my favorite subjects in the world. And I even have my own time travel story, which I'm happy to share with you if this channel gets above 10,000 subscribers one day. So please, if you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Also, tell me if you have an opinion on anything we covered in today's video in the comments down below. And until next time, this is Jesse. Let's keep exploring the unknown because we love the UFOs and time travel. Till next time.